Joining us now is Muzaffer Baca, Vice President of the International Blue Crescent Relief and Development NGO, and he's in Gaziantep. Thank you so much for joining us. Just checking the line. Can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you very much for paying attention to our huge disaster that we are facing since few hours before. And really, the situation is dramatic here.
Absolutely. We're looking at the images. This is impossible to ignore. Such tragedy, and obviously the death toll continues to climb. We were just hearing from our reporter, Scott, about the immediate effort. Obviously, every single minute counts right now. What are the urgent priorities in terms of rescue and where the resources need to be directed right now?
Yeah, the urgent emergency is, of course, to take those people under the rubble, to survive them, to rescue them. We need urgently rescue teams worldwide to be mobilized because the Turkish government is doing its best efforts to rescue those people. But there are thousands of buildings as 6 floors, 7 floors, 10 floors, even 17 floors that totally collapsed. There are some hospitals in Malatya and Hatay that collapsed. We are getting reports and also eyewitnessing that people are in a desperate position because still the state authorities trying to do their best to launch these rescue operations, but the number of the buildings and the capacity of the rescue teams is not enough. So first priority must be given to the rescue operation, and we need urgently rescue teams worldwide to run to Turkey to help us on the rescue. The second issue is the weather is extremely bad. It's unusual for this time, and especially in the epicenter of the earthquake, Kahramanmaraş, there's heavy snow in Gaziantep, in Malatya, in Diyarbakir, Urfa, and North Syria. We are facing heavy rainings. People don't have the possibility, they don't have the opportunity to survive in the streets. So we are moving them to the schools, the mosques, and even to our, as you see on the filming also, to our community centers. So at least to keep them surviving for a few days. One of the most priorities is to provide tents and to provide heaters for them, and also food and hygiene materials. Really, the area that was affected is about 12 million people population, including the Syrian side. If we include the Syrian side, it's about 15 to 16 million people are affected. And looking to the number of the buildings that are collapsed, I am sure that the number of the death will be exceed the 5,000 to 6,000 in Turkey. As I was listening to CNN news just a few minutes before, the number in Syria is increased to 680 in the state side, and also in the north side, northern Syria, which is under the opposition control, it's about 200 for the moment. The issue in northern Syria is that they don't have rescue capacity, any rescue capacity, and the death toll is going to be increased very much more.
It looks as though everything's being done by hand at the moment as well, so you clearly need some heavy lifting equipment and sort of urgent equipment supplies from abroad, presumably.
Yeah, the Turkish government has declared international, has asked about international assistance. Now, as a Turkish NGO, we are doing the same announcement because really in the field we don't have the capacity to rescue those people. Of course, the rescue teams must run at least today. You know, if those people under the rubble stay more than one day, more than 48 hours, or the most 3 days, you know, there is no possibility to rescue them after. This is one of the main priorities, and I am sure United States and other governments declared that they are ready to help, and even teams from Germany and Netherlands, as we said, they run to the field. Even the municipalities that are not affected around this earthquake area, they move their rescue teams to the field. As I said, the first priority is to rescue those people. And also the second is to treat the injured people. Some of the hospitals, big hospitals, are destroyed totally. So we need temporary mobile hospitals in the field, maybe tent hospitals or other type of mobile hospitals. We will need medical assistance to treat their injuries and to save them. The third priority is, as I told you, to shelter them somewhere. We cannot keep them forever. The schools are closed now for at least 1 week. And also the state departments are declared to be closed by tomorrow. The departments that they are not late with the earthquake. But despite them, we cannot keep them in those buildings. And those buildings are not enough to shelter them. So we need to establish some kinds of small camps around the cities to keep them alive at least for the winter, and later on to look about how we can shelter them permanently.
Muzaffer Baca, thank you so much for joining us at this critical moment and informing us and the international community about what your most urgent priorities are. I'm sure we'll be checking back in with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I hope the worldwide public opinion responds in a positive way to our appeals for assistance. Thank you very much.
Just stay with CNN throughout the hour. For the very latest, it's very clear from those images we were getting in from Syria that there's so much damage there as well that we haven't really got a sense of yet.
Exactly, because the government isn't fully functioning, and also this is a country that's been ravaged by war that has very vulnerable infrastructure, and we're seeing the toll that that's taking.